What's the craziest thing you've ever done to make weight?
Almost died.
Wait a second. How did
Yeah.
that happen?
I was in Texas and it was like 100 and some degrees and I still had weight to lose. I just kept working out, kept moving, not drinking no water. I just pushed my body to the limit and I actually was 2 pounds under when I got on the scale. My body had shut down. So
Oh,
after I
wow.
made weight, I had just tried to drink some water and some Pedialyte, but my body had just crashed. I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital.
Oh, wow. I live in Texas. The summer heat is no joke. You leave your body on the line for this sport. I mean, it's a
Oh yeah,
testament to how
definitely.
much you love it.
So the undisputed pound for pound number one king, Terence Bud Crawford, gave his reaction to his teammate, Keyshawn Davis, who's training with his trainer, Bomac, for missing weight by 4.3 pounds. Ironically, Bomac came out stating leading up to this fight, this time around, when camp started, Keyshawn came in already in shape, better than his last fight, which he made weight in. That's how he picked up the title. Remember, it ain't like Keyshawn came off a layoff. He's staying active. He's fighting like 3 times a year. So it's not like he's getting out of shape and he has to lose all that weight to make weight. That's not the case for Keyshawn. Anyways, Crawford came out stating that Keyshawn has outgrown the division. Crawford pointed out that at times during his career, he was struggling to make weight, especially when it was time to move up in weight. And he believed that is the case for Keyshawn. But here's the problem. Keyshawn didn't try to make weight like Crawford did, because when Crawford tried to make weight, outside of making weight all the time, like Floyd, like Devin Haney, like every other real professional fighter, Crawford was dying to make the weight. He did everything it took to make the weight because he signed on it. However, that wasn't the case for Keyshawn. Keyshawn, he seemed like he could have had at least lost more than 2 pounds. However, he did not want to struggle to make the weight. In other words, Keyshawn was looking for an advantage. He did not want to kill himself making weight like Edwin did. Keyshawn took a page out of Ryan Garcia's cheating book, which is miss weight, be healthy, pay the fine, and get the W. But if he was going to follow Ryan Garcia's blueprint, he should have had paid attention to the details when Floyd was telling Ryan to miss weight by 3 pounds. Because if you miss weight more than that, by 4 or 5, then you put in the fight in jeopardy to be canceled. But if you was around the window of 3 to 2 pounds, then the Edwin De Los Santos fight would have had still took place. Instead, Keyshawn went all out Lemos. What Lemos did to him, Keyshawn did to Edwin, expecting Edwin to agree to the 10-pound rehydration clause the next day and a fine. But that wasn't the case. Edwin De Los Santos pulled out of the fight. Rightfully so. That's why when Crawford was comparing his situation to Keyshawn, it's like comparing air to water. It's like comparing rocks to oranges. They do not compare. Here is exactly what Bud Crawford had to say. Check it out.
Hey, he said he outgrew the weight. Nobody knows his body. It's time to move up. 5, 40, 47. That's why I moved up. All the weight classes. You know what I mean? My last fight in the division was hectic. You know what I mean? Like I said, at 147 before I moved up, it was over with. 40, 35, the same way. You know what I mean? I made weight though. You know what I mean?
What do you think about Keyshawn's preparation so far?
Oh man, beautiful. This is beautiful. Every camp we have, the more and more camps we have, the more and more I'm learning about him, which is great. He's still learning at the same time too. That's how you become a better fighter. We had to get a little bit of shape during the camp, but this time he came in the camp. But like I said before, the more camps get better and better. He came in shape. His weight is great. Working on certain things that he needs to do in the ring, which is perfect. Instead of trying to work the weight off, we work strategy more than anything.
Even Keyshawn Davis' own promoter, Bob Arum, who doesn't promote Edwin de los Santos or cares anything for him. That's why this fight was all about Keyshawn. Bob Arum came out being confused to why Keyshawn never tried to make weight. Bob feels and believes that Keyshawn never tried to make the weight. As Bob stated, quote, "You can tell if a guy is trying to make weight and just can't. You can see that he's dehydrated. That wasn't the case for Keyshawn. He never really tried to make 135. That's my view on what happened." End of the quote. And that's exactly what I was saying. When you look at Keyshawn at the weigh-in, he wasn't sucked up like Edwin de los Santos. He wasn't sucked up like Devin Haney was for his last 2 to 3 fights at 135. And Devin still made the weight every single time. Meanwhile, they called him a weight bully. A weight bully is the person that can't make the weight. That's Keyshawn. But again, I don't believe Keyshawn tried to make the weight. I believe he knew Edwin de los Santos was a dangerous, confident fighter, so he felt that he needed an advantage. So he didn't want to kill himself making weight like Edwin did. This clearly shows a sign of concern on Keyshawn's behalf because he felt that Edwin was so dangerous to the point he had to have an advantage to get in the ring with him. He did not want to get in the ring with Edwin on an even playing field because this man is dangerous and he's confident. So how can he get Edwin off his game? Well, step one, do what Ryan did to Devin, which is miss weight. Surely that's going to throw Edwin de los Santos off his game since Keyshawn is going to be stronger and bigger on fight night because he did not kill himself to make weight. This is a terrible look for Keyshawn. He had Shaq, Vic, Allen, and celebrities coming over just to watch Keyshawn fight in his hometown. However, he blew it. Now Abdullah Mason gets to Sean. Listen, one of my biggest problems with Keyshawn doing all of this is when he told on himself that he already knew he was gonna move up to 140 his next fight. And I was scratching my head thinking, so you did all that bluffing, calling out Abdullah Mason to fight next, let's get this fight on, try to press him, this, that, and the third. That was all a show? None of that was real? Because it couldn't have been real if you knew for a fact that your next fight is going to be 140. Last thing Keyshawn wants is to be a Hollywood actor in the sport of boxing. Cut tape. Keyshawn is doing all of that. I mean, at first, Keyshawn had all the fans and media thinking, man, this guy Keyshawn is a breath of fresh air. Then we found out that it was all scripted. Keyshawn knew he wasn't going to fight Abdullah Mason. He was just bluffing to see what Abdullah Mason was thinking at that moment in time. What better way to do that than catch someone off guard? And that's what Keyshawn did. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This is already the third fight for you in 2025. And with this pace, is this the year that you kind of cement that contender status at the very least, or maybe even challenge for a world title?
Absolutely. Everything is happening at its proper time. So I'm just working my way up. I'm getting it honest. I worked my way up to number 2. We got somebody else ahead of me. I'm right there. Right there.
Is this man that's licking his chops while he stares at you one of those guys?
Absolutely.
So what you want to do?
I'm working my way up. I'm right here.
So after you beat him, what you want to do?
We could do whatever. I'm pretty sure my team could put anything together.
Are you going to put it together, sir? You the man in there.
I don't want to talk to you right now.
I bet you don't.
But I let my hands do the talking. So
let's
anything
do it
you want
next.
to do?
Let's do it next.
Okay, I'm pretty sure my team accommodates.
No. Let me and you, let's make it happen right now in front of everybody. After I knock De Los Santos out, after you knock this opponent out, me and you, let's fight next. Let's do it.
That's what I'm here for.
You here to fight me next?
He said that's what I came for.
That's a bet.
Okay, so maybe not the. Carl, are you still Carl?
Hey, Bob Arum. Bob,
Carl,
you ready? Bob, you ready? Bob Arum, the man with the player right there. The man with the player is right there. Bob smiling, he like it.
Can somebody get him
You
a
go
mic?
get him hurt, Bob. You go get him hurt.
We're matchmaking up here, so add that to my credentials, okay?
Hey, Pops, where you at, Pops? You walking him into something crazy now.
I thought he was maybe going to go the WBC route, and it would be for a unification.
You walking into something crazy, Pops. You know it. He usually talk. You quiet
y'all
now.
both have business to take care of first on Saturday.
Easy work.
Before you guys take care of each other. Anything else that you'd like to say, Abdullah?
I'm coming to do my thing and steal the show, like I always be doing.
You typically do. I would agree with that.
That
Thank you.
was a little shot.
I mean,
that was a little shot.
He did have a hell of a fight last time he was here.
Against opponents. I'm far from that.
Yeah, that's true. You have a belt for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. All right, well, we're going to get to now the man who would like to try to take that belt from you on Saturday night. Before I get to the questions that I already had prepared, what do you think about them already talking about a fight, but he still has to fight you come Saturday night?
Knock him out. Promise.
Yo siempre digo que el 90% de lo que se planea no se da.
I always say that 90% of things that are planned doesn't come about.
4 pounds over the weight limit. Are you going to give it a go? Are you going to try?
Nah, I outgrew the weight. I've been making this weight for over 4 years now. I just outgrew the weight. I tried. You know, I was up late last night trying to make it. Woke up early this morning trying to make the weight. I just outgrew the weight, man. I was feeling it last time I was fighting Baranchik. Thank God that I made it. Yeah, I don't know how I felt making it, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, you were on this very same position the last time we were here in November. Now you're on the other end. So safe to say this will be your last fight at 135 pounds?
I mean, I was 4 pounds over. Bro was like 7 pounds over. That's like damn near 10, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't reach the next weight class, you know what I'm saying? So the show still is going to go on for sure. But, you know, we just got to handle business.
Up to 140 after this, or you're still going to try 135?
Well, honestly, I was going to 140 after this anyways, honestly. So it was like, hey, whatever, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
So yesterday there was a back and forth between Keyshawn Davis and Abdullah. Keyshawn was challenging him to a fight next. Then, you know, today he missed his weight and already admitted that he was heading to 140. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, from the South, we call that pump faking. You know what I mean? When a man is barking with lip service, knowing that, you know, he ain't gonna even be fighting that way. That's pump faking. But I'm wishing the homie the best, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I got love for Keyshawn, and I hope that he go to 140. I think he's gonna do well there. But he was straight pump faking with my young.